Welcome back from Two Helpful Hairdressers. I'm Hairy One.
And I'm Hairy Two.
And today we're going to be talking to you about the importance of colour selection and knowing your base colour before you go to the shop and buy your box colour and avoid any horrible mistakes. And Hairy Two is going to be taking you through all this gobbledygook at the back in plain English, and then coming over here and telling you about the universal law of colour, just some basic hairdressing 101, so we don't have any terrible mistakes along the way. So I'm going to be handing over to Hairy Two, and she's going to take you through the basic class.
Thanks everyone. Alright, so today we're going to refer to this as Hairdressing 101, basically talking to you about how to choose your correct colour via your own base shade, percentage of the grey and so on. So when you're going to buy a colour, if you haven't done it before, take into consideration seriously what base colour you are. And this is a universal system that every company works to, between 1 and 10. 1 being black, 10 being blonde, and of course anywhere in the middle. So have a good look at your hair and try to match your base shade to one of these shades from 1 to 10, so you know what your base colour is. Then where are you going? Are you wanting to darken your hair or are you wanting to lighten it, and how many shades do you want to lighten? That will then determine what you need to buy, because down here we've got the underlying colour pigment. So for instance, if you're a base 6, which is referred to as a dark blonde, you have underneath your hair colour inside, basically, when you lighten, we're throwing out orange gold reflect. So you need to take that into consideration, particularly if you're lightening a few shades, because this will need to be counteracted, which we'll talk about in a minute with applying the colour. Now, once you've considered what base shade you are, confirm that, then have a look at your percentage of grey. Most women who are colouring their hair at home, ladies, will know that you're trying to hide those greys, perfect, but be honest with yourself, okay? Don't go into denial, the longest river down Africa, all right? Actually look at your base and your percentage of grey. So, it could differ too. In the back, you may only have 30%. Now, if you can't see the back of your hair, when you're having your hair cut with your hairdresser, ask her what she can see in the back of your hair as far as grey. Ask her how much grey you've got. That will help you determine what you need to cover. Sometimes in the front, around the hairline, we actually have up to 100% white hair, particularly on these side pieces. So you may have more in the front. It needs to be taken into consideration when you're buying a colour. So be true to yourself, not like some of the men out there who say they're blonde and they're actually grey, or they have hair and they're bald. That's a good one, isn't it? Okay, so actually look at what your base shade is, determine what you're going to throw out when you're lightening, if you are, and what percentage of grey you're covering. This will help you determine what to buy. If there's a reasonable amount of grey, and let's work from 50%, then buy 2 boxes of colour. 1, a natural base shade, to the base you're going to. So for instance, if we're a 6 and you want to lighten one level to a 7, then you buy a 7 natural base shade. Usually a 7.0 or 7/0 is what the base shade will say. Then you buy your reflect. Could be anything. Like, I love these things because this is hypnotic red. So if you're going a brown or red, you want to have a little bit of fashion shade, buy 2 boxes, 1 with your fashion shade that is the same level as you want to go. So we're at a 6, we're going to a 7. We make sure our base shade is a 7 to cover the grey, and our fashion shade is a level 7 to mix with that, alright, with the natural base shade. Now, it doesn't mean you have to waste half the colour. When you go home, you mix the colours in a bowl. Don't use a steel bowl, use a plastic bowl. Get yourself a pastry brush, or even go to a hair supplier and get yourself a proper tint brush. Apply them that way, and then you can seal the bottles up for your next time, and you have 2 colours, so you're not wasting the base shade and the reflect. Alright, so we're obviously talking about permanent colour today. We're not going to worry about our other types of hair colour. We're talking permanent. So when you're choosing your permanent colours, naturally there's a whole host of them on the market, and usually they will give you a base shade, level 6 here, and there's a 6/6, which means it's a vibrant red, alright? Now, so there's some confusing colours. Most of them are pretty right, but we've discovered that Schwarzkopf have some very interesting numbering systems. In their brilliance range, this 8-9 is actually almost a black. So don't look at the colour on the front only as to what you want. Actually look at the numbering and have a look on the back as to what base shade they say you should be and what you're going to look like in the end result. So we can all get very carried away with these names of colours, like I love this hypnotic red, but check on the back here as to what base shades they recommend it for, because this one's a 3-7. Now to me that means it's almost like a dark base shade, level 3 up here, and a 7 is usually a brownish colour, but anyway here it's a bright red. So just do some checking when you do buy your colour, alright? And if in doubt, see if someone in the store can help you. Sometimes they do know a little bit about this. Okay, I'm going to take you over to this side now and discuss the colour circle, or star as we call it. Alright, everything in the world is made up of colours, primary and secondary. So now we're referring to, if we're going to throw our orange gold, which is what we're talking about over here with our level 6, that you might be naturally and you're going up one level to a 7, and you want to have an ashy tone, like a natural tone, it's going to throw a little bit of gold red. So you're going to have to go to your 7 with a violet reflect to counteract the red. Obviously if you want to have red, easy. You can choose your base 7 to cover the grey, and you can choose your fashion shade over here with some red added to it. We've constructed these charts to show you what you need to use to counteract, but obviously if you're trying to enhance, you just choose the fashion shade that you wish to use. But if you're trying to get rid of the violet, the orange gold, then you're going to use some violet tones with your 7 as your lighting to get rid of that, so you've got a matte colour. Now remember also, if you are colouring for the first time, please put your colour on the mid-lengths and ends first. Leave out the roots, because your roots have natural warmth coming from your body. They will process faster. So go through and apply it to mid-lengths and ends, go back and put it on the roots. If you have a partner or a friend that's happy to help you out applying it, fantastic. But if you're going to do a regrowth application, please apply it to the roots only. If you keep applying a colour to the ends, it will get darker and darker and darker, and that's why you see so many people walking around with lighter roots than the ends, because they put the colour all the way through. So only put your colour through at the end when you're washing it off. It will just simply emulsify it through, and it will freshen up your ends. That's all you need to do, alright? Now that's basically how to choose a colour. We don't want to go on for too long. We're going to go into what can go wrong. If you don't have the right colour, how to fix it. Alright, we'll be road testing some of these, as we've said in earlier videos. And please send us your questions to our email address, to helpfulhairdressers@gmail.com, so that we can use your questions on our vlogs and answer any queries that you may have. And shortly we'll be setting up a website also, so we'll have all of these up there for you too, and we can perhaps interact with you that way. Thank you for watching this video, and